In 1792, inside a small workshop on 7th Street in Philadelphia, the sound of metal striking metal echoed through the air. It wasn't the noise of a blacksmith, but the birth cry of a nation's currency. This was the moment the United States of America began to mint its own money, and it all started with a tiny silver coin called the half dime. After winning independence, America faced a challenge greater than war: building an economy. The young republic was flooded with foreign coins, Spanish dollars, British shillings, and French livres. There was no consistent money, no national standard, and little public trust. In 1792, Congress passed the Coinage Act, establishing the United States Mint and defining the dollar as the nation's standard currency. At the head of this effort stood President George Washington and Secretary of State Thomas Jefferson. Before the mint was officially built, Jefferson arranged for the first experimental coins to be struck in a private cellar, using silver he personally delivered. Legend says that silver came from none other than Martha Washington's household silverware. These coins were called half dimes, spelled the old French way for half dime, equal to 5 cents. Around 1,500 to 2,000 pieces were made, each about the size of a modern nickel. They bore the date 1792, and the promise of a new economic identity. The obverse of the half dime shows liberty facing left, with flowing hair, a symbol of youthful freedom. Around her reads, Lib Par. Of science and industry. On the reverse, a small eagle flies proudly above the words, United States of America. Some historians believe Liberty's face was modeled after Martha Washington, though this remains unproven. Still, the design captured America's spirit, science, industry, and liberty working hand in hand. The strike took place in July 1792, likely inside the cellar of John Harper, a Philadelphia metalsmith. Henry Voigt, the first chief coiner of the U.S. Mint, operated the press by hand. Each strike was an act of both craftsmanship and courage. The mint wasn't yet authorized to operate officially. These small silver coins quietly circulated among officials and friends of the new government, becoming the earliest tangible proof that America could create its own money. Later that same year, construction began on the first U.S. Mint building, the first federal building authorized by Congress. The Coinage Act defined denominations, established standards for gold and silver, and introduced the dollar as the foundation of American value. Though larger coins like the dollar and half dollar would follow, the half dime remained the first, the spark that started it all. Of the 1,500 to 2,000 half dimes struck, only a few hundred survive today. Many were lost to circulation, melted down, or simply forgotten as the new mint expanded production in 1793. Collectors today treasure them not just for rarity, but for meaning. Owning a 1792 half dime is like holding a piece of the nation's birth certificate, struck in silver. Over 2 centuries later, the half dime continues to break records. High-grade examples have sold for astonishing prices, one fetching more than $1.5 million at auction. Its value lies not only in its scarcity, but in its story, the coin that began an era and proved that America could stand on its own. The half dime was the seed from which all American coinage grew. It inspired the first regular issues of 1793 and every U.S. coin that followed, from silver dollars to modern nickels. Even today, the word dime carries the legacy of that first experiment, a blend of idealism, innovation, and belief in a young nation's promise. From a secret cellar in Philadelphia to million-dollar auctions centuries later, the 1792 half dime tells the story of America's first step into monetary independence. It's not just a coin. It's the silver heartbeat of a nation just learning to believe in itself. The 1792 half dime, small in size, but monumental in meaning. The first true coin of the United States. You're watching Coin Legacy, where history lives through the coins that shaped civilizations.